know how, but somehow I managed to forget. There we go. I don't know how I did it, but somehow I managed to forget my GoPro. I brought my tripod, but didn't bring my GoPro. So we're doing this on the phone. But we just went to the parts store not too long ago and got fittings, which they're not really ideal, but we're gonna make them work. So it's literally a hose fitting, a 1/4 inch hose fitting. We're gonna be using that for running coolant out of this hard line back to the oil cooler that's on the back of the block, and it should work. I already have one hose going to it, if you can see down there. Yeah, this one right here. This runs down underneath the intake into the oil cooler. So that's one, and then we need a second one, so I'm gonna run it off that hard line, and it should work fine. So I gotta get this welded in. We're gonna finish the exhaust probably this week. Once this is done, I can get this put back on, and then we can shove this back in the back of the thermostat housing or the water pump housing, and that'll get coolant back to the oil cooler. So I'm going to weld this on real quick. So today we've got to get the engine pulled out, which I'm very excited about. We have to pull the engine out. We have to get this harmonic balancer pulley put on because it's a V-belt and I need a V-belt. So long story short, I put a BMS Racing lightweight pulley down there on it, and one of the guys that's done several of these swaps said absolutely do not do that. Well, this is after I spent the money on the pulley. He said don't do that. These motors aren't the best as far as harmonics, and I guess he said it'll shake the transmission apart. I don't know. I've never done it, and I figured since he's done several of these swaps and this is my first one, that I would definitely take it at face value. So I ordered the water pump pulley and the harmonic balancer from him, and he sent them over to me. So I already got the water pump pulley on it. Super easy, you can get to that no problem. But getting to the harmonic balancer is another story. It's way down in there, and you have to lift the engine out to get to it. I would drop it, but there's a few things that are gonna hit if we try doing that. I gotta pull the turbo regardless, but there's a few things that just wouldn't let it drop as easy as it would let it come out the top. So we're gonna pull the battery. We're gonna pull the battery tray. I gotta undo the entire engine harness, pull this off. Coolant system is pretty much already good to go because we were test fitting crap yesterday for the oil cooler situation, which we got that sorted out. I'm not saying that I recommend doing this, but this is what we did. This is a quick disconnect, just like a normal air fitting you'd see on an air hose for like pneumatic tools, impact or anything. This is a 1/4 inch fitting that I TIG welded onto this hard pipe, and then put a 5/16 hose over it, and then that runs down and underneath, and that goes to the oil cooler, and so does this one here, if you can see it. That one goes to the oil cooler too. So it comes out and then it returns, or I don't know which way it flows, but either way we have coolant or water going into the oil cooler now. So the cooling system is done. The thermostat's already in the housing, so I mean that's done. You see the thermostat down in there. So this is done. This is all sealed up. We got the hose that runs across. This is a $100 hose, which kind of surprised me, but we had to have it. We got to figure out the dipstick, which I'm still kind of up in the air on what I'm going to do about the dipstick. I need to figure something out pretty quick because I really want this thing running by next weekend, or before next weekend, so I can get a little seat time in it and kind of get the tune dialed where I can baby it around on low boost, if we even get the charge pipe done in time. I'm hoping we can, but there's no guarantees. But I'm going to get started on pulling everything off of this, and we're going to get the engine pulled out the top and then get that pulley on.
And it'll be out in the distance. Won't bother people really.
Yeah, bother somebody else.
Yeah.
We didn't take any of the ship linkage off. We've never done this before.
Oh, you're one of them overachievers, aren't you?
I want to make my life easier.
That's what you gotta tell people. You drilled that hole specifically for this job.
Scoot the camera back so they can catch all this.
This thing's going to Dollar General tonight.
Ow!
He doesn't think this thing will make it to Dollar General tonight. What are you betting on?
Not bad.
If we get it driving tonight, assuming nothing.
Where's that V-boat you had out here yesterday you're playing with?
I don't know. I started playing with it and then I lost it.
He's good about that shit.
I'm good about that too. Yeah.
See how easy that was?
Feel the weight difference between them.
Jesus.
Yes. That's why I didn't want to run one of these.
But hey, look where we are now.
All this. For those of you that don't know, all this is to put this pulley on. It's literally the whole reason we're pulling the engine up out of here. I don't know, does it one leg Death Storm in circles?
He's only using one leg.
Kind of forced to if you only have one leg.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go, what kind of one?
You ready for the talk?
Shut up!
So what you're saying is Tyler's going to be street racing channel if you're going to be
Hey!
older individual.
Alternator's going in.
Alton is probably the alternator. Alternator.
Dang, we grab me that white rag over there. Trying to clean this so when this thing blows an alternator to smithereens and we have to replace it, I don't have to maybe get
I just need to-
replacing it.
Back here at WD-40 in the dirt, dog.
Alright, we got the alternator on. We got the new pulley on. New used pulley. And then water pump pulley is already installed. We're going to have to make a gasket for this because I'm tired of waiting on RTV to dry. So we're going to make a gasket for the thermostat housing. We're going to lower it a little bit to where we can just get the turbo put on. And then we can set it all the way on the mount, bolt it up. Then get the axles in and all the other fancy stuff. And she should be good to go if we can get that figured out. And then it's just put all the wires back, put everything together. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Everything is back together. We got the new pulley put on, which you can see it way down in there. We got the belt on. Everything is reassembled. We're gonna have to start on charge pipe and the rest of the exhaust this week. But we are going to put coolant in it, or put water in it, and see if it leaks anywhere. And then we'll know if we can kind of keep moving forward with everything. What's fuel pressure?
Do it again.
Should be about 40.
A little over 40.
That's good.
I'm not.
Alright, we are in neutral. Stretch in. 2 steps completely turned off.
lower radiator hose.
Oh,
Already.
that's easy to fix.
But that means it's
That's moving water.
it's
That's good.
instant movement.
Okay.
Is it pissing pretty good? Yeah, it is.
And we just not tightening enough?
No, it's on the actual radiator side.
Radiator side.
Or that little junction or whatever you want to call it. See it from over here?
No.
Right there where that metal meets.
It's the hose.
Well then we gotta tighten it or something.
Maybe. We can.
Good thing is
Oh yeah, it's just pissing out that hose. That hose is too big. That's our first problem. That's not the right kind of hose.
oh,
But it did work before. Please don't strip. That's tight as I'm comfortable getting it. Let's see how it holds this time.
that's bright. Thank you. Oh wow. You can smell it though.
Don't get one. Well, that wasn't helping with the cooling situation.
No, but turbo's hot. Turbo's making probably oil residue on it.
Not sure about. We're not too certain about the timing either.
No, we're not. But I would like to definitely know where the sound's coming from.
Yeah. I think it's built.
It probably is.
Go ahead and check the oil, see if it's shiny.
Belt's not. Ooh, yeah, belt's hot.
Someone's trying to lock up. What do you think?
Belt's hot.
Only two accessories there can be.
Like I said, I think I would pull the cat because my first guess was, yep, don't do that. My guess was now that the thermostat opened, it probably there's not anything spinning, so the water pump's just dry spinning.
Probably.
And alternator never made that sound before.
No, we never had an issue with the alternator.
Yeah, that's toasty.
It's not that hot. It's actually cold. I never got a reading on my dash at all. So we gotta figure that out.
See,
My temp gauge never moved.
so
at
it's
all.
warm right here by
Mhm.
the neck, and then cold.
Yeah, so we never got a reading on the temp gauge.
Valve cover's warm, nice and warm.
But she got warm. She didn't get hot.
Yeah, that belt is toasty though.
I think there was a separate, yeah. This went to the ECU. I don't think, yep, there it is. Never got hooked up. We got to find a connector for it. Everything works as it should. The only issue that we're finding is
I'll send you a quick video. I got.
something on the belts. Something down there is making a noise. I'm assuming it's the probably the water pump. The water up here was cold, so I don't think the thermostat ever actually really got to open. I don't have coolant temp on my dash, and that's because the wire that runs to my dash goes on a connector that's way down in there. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got to find that wire and reconnect it, and then we should be good to go to have coolant temp on the dash, because this one is for the ECU, and that one tells my micro squirt what to do with the fuel and everything based on the coolant temperature. But I need to know on my dash what my temperature is, so I don't have to always drive around with my laptop open. But it does run, it does drive. We took it down the road, got through all the gears. It does shifting through all the gears fine. I think it's gonna work. So we went through all the gears, it shifted fine. It's kind of weird because the shift linkage we did have to cut and turn 90 degrees and weld back on, so it is kind of weird. Second feels like it's behind fourth. There's a few things that will get fixed along the way, but right now it does run, it drives, it goes down the road. All we have left to do is run the exhaust out the back, which the piece of flex, I don't have one here to show you, but this is 2.5 to 3 adapter here, and this will step it up because the down pipe is 2.5, and I'm going to be running 3-inch exhaust all the way out the back to my my muffler. So we got to get a flex, which will be going before this. So we'll have the down pipe going under the fuel pan, and we have a section of 2.5, and then we'll have a piece of flex in between, so when the engine wants to torque, the exhaust won't crack the welds because the exhaust is solid and the engine's moving a little bit. So the flex pipe for that should be in tomorrow. We'll get that welded up. We can start on the charge piping. Hopefully the water pump's not bad, because if it is, we're gonna have to pull the engine out again. I hope that's not the issue, but everything's good. I did get the dipstick kind of mounted, zip tied, so it's temporary, but I did take this dipstick, this is off a LS engine, and I cut it down to where the oil needs to be, so I know what a good reading is, and then I took a file and kind of filed on the dipstick so you can see where the oil needs to be at. But this thing, I mean, it runs and drives. I'm happy, I'm thrilled that it's back on the road. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing exhaust, and sometime during the week we'll be starting on the charge piping, so it's getting really close. We're almost there. But for now, that's going to be it. And like always, I appreciate you guys that are hitting the subscribe button. We're at like 231 now, so we're getting there. I mean, it's definitely better than 100. It feels like yesterday we hit 100 and I was excited about it. So now we're at 231, so we're moving, we're getting there. So keep doing what you're doing. Also, I'm starting up another channel. We're going to be doing a lot of bow fishing stuff, so I think I'm at 9 subscribers on that channel right now. I literally just started it last night. So it's TLL bow fishing. So you guys, you'll see it. Go ahead and so you'll probably have to channel filter your search, because it's a new channel. It probably won't show up right away, but it's TLL bow fishing. You'll be able to find it. We're going to be doing a lot of bow fishing on that channel, and taking the airboat out, and eventually getting a bigger airboat. But for now, this thing's almost done. The motor's in the Dodge, it's close. The tracker will be going on standalone. I mean, there's things happening, so I'm happy. I'd be doing more if I had an air-conditioned garage, but I don't. I'm in a lean-to, and it's hot. It's like 100 degrees pretty much all day long out here in Arkansas, Oklahoma, where I'm at. But you guys, appreciate you watching, and I'll be back hopefully tomorrow or the next day with another update on where we're at on this thing, and hopefully we'll have the exhaust done and be able to shoot some fireballs out the back of this thing, and the wastegate will be running through the hole in the fender. So I'm going to go home. I'm calling another night. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back.